variations. You may not get it right all the time. So it looks at the NDC as well. And what I'm telling on Twitter, I thank those who believe in my work. 83% in 22 years is a respectable figure, and that the NDC has done well to have won it.
I see. Now, the projections you made seem not to have come to pass, at least per the provisional results we have now. We do not have an official word from the Electoral Commission, and people say that you got it wrong. Do you agree with that assertion?
Oh, yes. I got it. I mean, definitely, I also have some of my people there, and some of the areas that we expected that the MPP would do well, they did not do well. So I can say that even though the Electoral Commission has not announced it, I think the NDC has won the seat, has retained the seat.
And that would be a second, according to some of the views that we have on Twitter, the projections from 2020 and all of that. It does appear that people are now not looking at your historical past and the work you have done in the past. They're just focusing on the now and using that to assess you. Do you think that's fair?
Oh, in 22 years, I've done polls, and, by-elections and party elections are difficult to do, but I still do them. If I'm talking about 7 elections since 1992, and I've gotten 6 spot on. Most of those that I have lost are those more of like party elections, chairmanship, or by-elections. Party elections are difficult to project because you have to get to the delegates. General elections, you have to just take the swing areas and do your work there. But if you are doing about party elections, and you will see that those that have not done well are internal party elections. These are difficult, and I'm trying to perfect that one too, because for that one, it's more of delegates, individuals. It's not a broad thing that you can do. So if obviously most of those who are putting me on Twitter, I know will be NDC people. I have done work, and if you put me on Twitter, it does not take away the work I've done in 23 years. So I'm kind of used to that, you understand? Because if it's an easy thing for people to project, I'm sure many people would have been projecting over the past 20 years.
They're beginning to question your integrity, and that for me, for a pollster, may not be too good. Do they have a justified claim?
You see, I think that definitely when you do polls and you lose, you question your integrity. What if you win? What if you get it right? What did they say? So, I mean, I'm kind of used to it. I lost it in 2016, but from 1996, I got the spot on. So, I mean, these things don't bother me. I have a track record, 23 years, 83%. I'm proud of it. Nobody gets it. Even the US, where you have more scientific methods, 2016, all the polls got it wrong. So, I mean, when these things are on Twitter, what all they expect me to do to stop, I'm not going to stop polling. If that's what they want to hear, I'm sorry for them.
You think that the whole essence of this is to make you stop polling?
That is the essence of it. I mean, in 2016, when I got it wrong, I mean, 2016 was worse than this. I continued in 2020. I said NEC1 will retain 30 of their 32 seats. They retained it. And I said Mahama will lose first one by 500,000 votes. And he lost by 514,000 votes. That was a bigger issue than a by-election. You understand?
Right.
Yeah. So, 2016, I got it wrong. I did not stop. I perfected my art. In 2020, I said Mama will lose by 500,000 votes. And he lost by 514,000. Concerning the seats, NDC had lost 32 seats in 2016. I said they'll get the 30 of the 32 seats back. And the difference in parliament will not be more than 3. The difference in parliament is 1. So if you think by insulting me on Twitter I will stop, I will not.
Are you able to explain how this victory turned out for Gyakye Quayson in the by-elections? Because you were very, very sure. In fact, it made the headlines for your paper today that Gyakye Quayson was going to lose to.
My guys are there, and they will stay there for about a week more.
Okay.
They will stay there for about 4 or 5 days. I'll look at the numbers, but they will be there to find out what happened. You see, what we did was we looked at the polling station results in the swing area. You know, there are some polling stations you get NDC over 60%. We don't deal with that. There will be polling stations NPP over 60%. We don't do. We do work on polling stations which are between 40-45 for the two parties. For these by-elections, we don't do a general one. And this is what we did. We didn't poll areas that have been voting NPP or areas we just concentrated on the free polling stations.
I see. Now, if you look at your publication for today as well, the Daily Dispatch, on page 2, you have said here that the MPP flag bearer race, you'll be surprised if Alan Tremantin beats Kennedy Agyapong to second place, according to you, Chief Editor. Now, that means you place Dr. Bawumia first, Kennedy Agyapong second, and Alan third. People are now questioning if you say you got Asin North wrong when you were so sure about Charles Opoku winning over Gyakye Quayson. People are now stretching the argument to say that then you could be wrong also in saying that Alan Tremantin would not be able to beat Kennedy Agyapong to second place. What do you say?
November 4th is not far. November 4th is not far. Because you see, these were what we did before and after the election. And one of the Alan team members is a good friend. So he asked me, and I said that most of the young delegates don't remember Alan Tremantin. When Alan Tremantin peaked in 2007, anybody who is 30 now was 15 years. Kennedy Agyapong has been an MP for 23 years. He's been in around the party at conferences and so on. So I just told that people that what we did is that most of the delegates who are between early 20s and early 30s, when Alan Tremantin peaked as Alan Cash, they were 15 years old. Do you remember what happened 15 years ago? Yes. So in the Alan people, some of them are my friends. They say, oh, then you are being unfair. I said, I don't vote. I'm not a delegate. November 4th is not far away. I mean, if you this kind of job for 23 years, you experience these things. You say a party will lose, they will insult you when the results come, fine. When you don't get it, fine. People take it so personal. You understand?
Right.
I'm sorry, it's a job that I'm used to. If I get it wrong and people insult me, I don't stop. 2016, it was well done. It was a change of government. I said NDC will win. I'll be able to, between 2016 and 2020, find out where we went wrong. In 2020, I said NDC will claim back most of their seats.
Right.
And Mahama will lose by at least 500,000 votes. He lost by 514,000 votes.
3FM 90.
So I'm used to people criticizing me. I mean, I'm not impervious. I mean, they can go ahead. It's fine.
Is Ben Efson's polls influenced by monies from people? Because again, Twitter is awash with those comments that you are often induced to do these or conduct these polls. Is that the case?
3FM
If,
92.7.
for example, you are the leader of a party, and I come and collect money from you, and I say you win, and you win. The next 4 years, if you are losing, can I say you lose?
3FM
I always ask people that question.
92.7.
It's been polls I've done when governments have lost. When I say a government will win, and they win without taking money, the following 4 years, when I say the same government will lose, they keep quiet. I mean, it's easy for people who on Twitter to take time and Google Benefits presidential results since 1996. 22 years. I missed one. I got the West score 83%. But I know that, I mean, for these things, they will pick and choose. Whatever they say, I'm not going to stop fully. That one is constant. You see, if people are criticizing and they remember the good ones and the bad ones, they only remember the bad ones. And Johnny, that is not for me. This is my 49th year as a journalist. You understand?
Right.
I took the polling 22 years ago. So, I mean, that is it. If they think that by putting me on Twitter, that will make me stop, that one, they are joking.
Back to Asin North. Now, question is, if a government in power could not snatch the seat of an opposition party with all the machinery, then we saw the full power that went to Asin North with all the comments that were made by the president.
What people tend to forget is that Asin North is a swing constituency.
That's correct.
In 2012, NDC won presidential and parliamentary. In 2016, MPP won presidential and parliamentary. In 2020, NDP won the presidential and NDC won the parliamentary. It tells you it's a same constituency. It's nobody's backyard.
3FM
I see.
92.7.
You do understand? So it's not a safety. I mean, for the safety, the margin of victory will drag down a party or not. So I think not if, and maybe you could be looking at another by-election in Asin North. You see, when Ademu Sakandi, the MP, the late Ademu Sakandi,
Right.
the MPP MP, when this law of renunciation caught me,
Right.
the heart of the judgment is that when you present your form to the Electoral Commission and you pay the fee and you are issued with a receipt, by that time, you must have renounced your other citizenship.
3FM Sunrise.
And that was the conversation between Pollstar Ben Efsin and, of course, Johnny. He says, I won't stop predicting elections. You can find that story on 3news.com. Let's add another voice to the conversation. NDC's Fifi Kwete, he's the General Secretary. He was also speaking. Let's take a listen.
3FM Sunrise.
As on the phone line is the General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress. Thank you, sir. Welcome. Good evening.
Hi, good evening to you. Good evening to all your many listeners.
Great. Twitter is already congratulating you, Facebook as well. Do you feel victorious at this point?
3FM 92.7.
Let's just say that we feel that we have done enough, until the referee blows the final whistle. We just have to remain positive and wait for that final whistle to be blown. That's the Electoral Commission to do the final declaration.
If you look at the kind of campaign that was waged in Asin North, you and your party chose to go door to door, village to village, nook and cranny. The government in power chose to do the big rallies, and you have accused them of sharing stuff. Earlier today, people told us how they had received monies and all of that, but they were still determined to vote for James Gyakye Quayson. What would you say that means for our democracy?
3FM.
Yeah, let me just say that, first of all, let me salute the great people of Asin North. What it is they have indicated is something that the country as a whole must pay attention to. They've shown that they are a people who believe that justice must be done. There are people who believe that you cannot impoverish a nation. You cannot render a people to become so full of suffering, dehumanize them, reduce their dignity, and then use a period of about a month to try hard to deceive them that you care. I mean, so what it is they have signaled is a signal to the rest of the country that this type of governance, this type of leadership is a leadership that must absolutely be thrown into the dustbin of history, must be punished, must be humiliated, must be exposed. And I hope to God that the 30 plus million Ghanaians are paying heed, because what is happening is something that is destructive to the very soul of our country. It's a democracy that is at risk. It's a nation that is being destroyed by a group of people who have become depraved in their leadership, absolutely corrupt and rotten. And this signal is a signal that this nation is not going to take this depravity. This nation won't take this corruption. This nation won't take this degenerate leadership. This nation is crying again for truth, for justice. Not perfection, because there's no government that is perfect, but some effort to do what is right, to respect people, and not to insult the intelligence of the people of the country.
Now, where do we go from here? Because you heard the president's comments prior to the elections that the people should not make a decision for an MP who would always be seen in court and who will eventually go to jail. He's been condemned for that. But where do we go from here?
The people of Assin North have spoken. They told them that no amount of anything you do will stop them from doing what is right. Now let them try everything they want to do. Johnny, they are just digging graves to themselves. What they are doing is digging graves that they themselves will be buried in tomorrow. Let them continue. This is a signal that any wise people will learn from. Any intelligent people will learn from. Any humble people will learn from. But it's possible we are dealing with people who have reached a stage where they simply cannot learn anymore. As what was the name of that great Nigerian writer? Was it
Wole Soyinka or Chinua Achebe?
The one who said who the gods want to destroy, the first make man.
Chinua Achebe,
I think, right?
Olarutimi, that's right. And the gods are not to blame.
What's going on? Possibly the gods want to destroy this bunch. The gods want to destroy this leadership. The God wants once and for all to bury this type of leadership. So possibly they will remain drunk, intoxicated, refuse to learn, and continue their heedless path towards destruction by wanting again to pursue that degenerate policy, which is nothing but injustice, punishing him because he took part in the vote that brought the Speaker of Parliament, which has made it impossible for them to do what they want to do to destroy our democracy and take our country down. Let them continue trying. They are only digging their own graves, and they will be buried in it tomorrow.
Those are very, very strong indications you are giving to the ruling party and, of course, your followers. That's quite strong, is it not?
It's just the truth. It's just the truth. Like Bob Marley say, whosoever diggeth that pit shall fall in it. We've seen them do it in the past. Remember when they came the last time? They have what you call the special fast-track prosecution, and they declared openly that they will use the fast-track court to absolutely decimate the NDC. By the time the fast-track court has done its job, NDC will cease to exist. 8 years on, the people of Ghana told them that would not be, because it is the people of Ghana who make that decision. So we are simply dealing with a bunch of people who are simply incorrigible. These people are simply incorrigible. They never learn. They never learn. This is exactly what they have done over and over and over in the history. They never learn. I hope to God that when the people are spoken this time around, they will start paying heed for their own sake. Because if they think that they have become immortals, if they think that they become untouchable, the people of Ghana will prove to them that nobody is untouchable. Only the mandate of the people of Ghana is untouchable.
Would you say that this is the litmus test or the test tube approach for 2024, the main elections, that the people may be induced, they may be spoken to, they will see the flashy stuff in the campaigns, but they will still make a decision that's on their heart? Is that what you see?
I believe Assin North has sent a signal. They sent a signal to the country. They are literally telling the country, Ghana, wake up. Ghana, wake up. Don't allow anybody to treat you the way this government has treated the people of Ghana, and think that somehow you can come in the final moment to try to deceive, bribe, corrupt the people through all kinds of things, thinking that somehow they will forget the suffering and continue voting for them. I think it's a wake-up call that Sinnoff is sending to the rest of Ghana.
I see. Franklin Fifi Fiavi Kwete, thank you so much indeed for your time.
Thank you so
That's
much, Johnny. Thank
General
you so
Secretary.
3FM Sunrise. 3FM Sunrise.
Funny from Allah. Oh yeah, sit there. Allah. Oh yeah, funny from Allah.
Well, that was that conversation again
Funny from
with NDC General Secretary Fifi Kwete and Johnny.
Funny from Allah. Oh
Of course, more thoughts on Sinnoff tomorrow.
Allah. Oh yeah, sit there. Allah.
We'll talk more about it. But again, this is 3FM Sunrise on 3FM 92.7.
3FM Sunrise.
Funny from
Start your day with Sunrise on 92.7 3FM.
Funny from Allah. Oh yeah, sit there. Allah. Oh yeah, funny from Allah. Oh yeah, sit there. Allah. Oh yeah, funny from
3FM Sunrise.
Now, can you listen to this song and not want to dance?
Funny from
Impossicans.
Oh yeah, sit there.
Allah,
Oh yeah, funny from
Allah,
Oh yeah, sit there.
Allah.
Oh yeah, funny from I don't tag on family. Yeah, don't tag on family. I don't tag on family. Yeah.
Now, you know what else is confirmed?
Right.
It's the 3FM Baby Fair.
Bye. So mind you.
3FM Sunrise.
Funny from
And we have been calling all vendors,
Allah.
all parents,
Oh, yeah.
all guardians,
Allah.
all mothers,
Oh, yeah.
all fathers,
Allah.
all expectant moms and dads.
Allah.
And this is for good reason.
Allah. Oh yeah, sit there. Allah. Oh yeah, funny
Again, the 3FM Baby Fair is here.
Funny from
Now, for the uninitiated, it is a one-stop shop for all of your childcare products, clothes, toys, development products, and services. It's happening across 3 days in July. That's the 7th of July, the 8th of July, and also the 9th of July. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, happening at the Marina Mall, Airport City in Accra. And trust me, this is one that you do not want to miss at all. Now, we have a vendor who is going to be in attendance at the 3FM Baby Fair with us. We'll chat to her a little bit about